Distance can be a major barrier to accessing quality healthcare on time. That's where Angel Flight East comes in. Welcome to Takeoff Talk with Angel Flight East, a nonprofit dedicated to providing free flights for children and adults who need medical treatment far from home. We don't know how many people forego medical care because they don't have accessible transportation, and that's what this podcast is here to change. Join passionate AFE staff members Jess Ames and Maddie Beck as they share real-life stories from people who have used AFE services to get the care they need when they need it.
All right. Hey there, frequent flyers. This is Maddie back with another episode of Takeoff Talk.
And Jess.
And today we have pilot Brad Neihouser joining us today.
Hello, ladies.
Brad, thank you so much for joining us. Can you tell our listeners about how long you've been flying with Angel Flight East?
I have been flying with Angel Flight East for probably close to 20 years. I don't remember. I don't remember when I signed up with Angel Flight East, but it's been a long time.
And how did you hear about Angel Flight East?
I don't know. Quite frankly, I don't know. I started with another organization in the Midwest called Lifeline Pilots, which I still fly for them. And then they weren't keeping me busy enough, so I found some other ones, and I found Angel Flight East, and then I was doing a lot of flying for Angel Flight East. I probably just Googled it like I found Lifeline Pilots and everything else. So I believe that's how I found it.
A lot of our pilots that we've been interviewing also fly for Lifeline Pilots, so I feel like we are going to have to bring them on an episode one time so they can share what they do.
They don't do anything different than what you guys do. It's just a different geography. So you guys all do fantastic work.
Yeah, you're probably, I think, our third pilot to bring up Lifeline Pilots, but we do work quite a bit with them, so it makes sense that we have some overlap.
Sure.
What's your why? What brought you into public benefit flying, or the desire to start giving back with your airplane?
No, that is probably not why. I bought my first airplane when I was 44, I think. I had my license since I was 18. But you know what makes an airplane fly is not the propeller and the wings. It's money and lots of it. And when you're young, you don't have any of that. So I didn't fly much. And then bought a little Cherokee 180, a 4-seater. I told my wife, we'll never need another airplane. That'll be a great little airplane. And I was taking my instrument training in a local airport. And the one of the guys that works at the airport called out to my instructor in my airplane and asked if he had some sort of a chart for something. And I just asked him, well, what was that about? And he said, well, the local airport had arranged for a pilot to fly someone up to Mayo Clinic whose family member was there or something. And a light bulb just went on in my head. It really did. I have to think the good Lord put it there, but Angel Flight came to my mind. So I went home and I Googled Angel Flights. Lifeline Pilots came up, and there it was. And I signed up for my first mission the next week. So that is how I kind of fell into it. I love to fly, love to help people. I had no idea it would ever morph into what I do today. I have a goal this year, which I'm not afraid to tell everybody, is to fly one a week. I'm close, but probably not quite there. So, you know, I'm going to answer that in two parts. I kind of answered the first part. The second part is, now why do I do it? Is to give back, and I love to fly. Flying is the only hobby I have. Besides enjoying my wife, I'll be kind to say that. Not I would say chasing my wife, but that is a hobby too. But so I love to fly and love to help people, and so that's the long and short of it, I guess. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, it absolutely did. I love to hear all about why the pilots chose to get involved with Angel Flight, or at least how they got involved with Angel Flight. So that's definitely my favorite question to ask. Of all these flights that you're doing, the once a week or just about, do you have a favorite story of a flight or a passenger that's had the biggest impact on you?
Probably several, because I've flown well over 300 of these, I think. I've kind of not stopped counting. One was an Angel Flight East passenger. Jess, you might remember, and I forget the name, I won't say the name, but it was a lady in her mid-70s that had a liver disease, cirrhosis of the liver, I think it's called, but it was not from alcohol. That's usually an alcohol a symptom. It was hereditary. And she was flying from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to somewhere. No, she was flying from somewhere in Kentucky to Pittsburgh. And basically they were doing research on her so that in the future, someone else could benefit. And her and her husband were just wanting some more time together. I kind of fell in love with them. I flew them, I don't know how many times. I got familiar enough that when we would land, they would want to take me out for supper all the time before I go home.
That's awesome.
And she died. She passed away, and her husband called me and invited me to come to the funeral. Well, in typical Brad fashion, I said, "Well, I'm too busy. I regret that. I should have gone." That's one. Another was a couple from Southeast Kentucky, out in the hills out there somewhere, and she had cancer and had to go up to Cancer Treatments of America probably once a month, and it's a long way. And it was hard to get pilots down in that part of the world for whatever reason. So I would usually do the whole thing. I would go down there and pick them up, take them all the way to Waukegan. Got to know them pretty well, and she also passed. But he said, you guys gave us 5 more years together. So how much better can it be than that? Other ones, I don't know. Never had a bad one. Everybody's kind and nice. And I didn't prepare a lot, but that's probably one I should have. Just recently, I flew a lady. This would not have been your pilot or your passenger. And I thought it was her last flight. She was up in Zion, Illinois at Cancer Treatments of America, and did not get a good report. She was supposed to be up there 2 days, and she was up there over a week. And so when I saw she was going home, I went and I signed up for the first leg, and I told her I hope I'd see her again, but she did not get good news. But she's still going back up again, so she's still alive. So that's wonderful. So that's amazing. That's probably the highlights. There's been a lot. I've met a lot of wonderful people flying.
Yeah, I always love to see the bonds that the patients and the pilots form, because they always start out as complete strangers. And then we'll have pilots call us and say, "I want to fly this person every time. Please call me before you post their flight." And even sometimes we'll forget, and then they'll call us and be like, "Why didn't you tell me they were flying again?" So I feel like the pilots also just become an extra support arm for the families that we help.
I always tell the passengers, I'd much rather be up in my seat than back in your seat. They're going somewhere unknown sometimes. If it's the first time, they don't know where they're going. They don't know, what the outcome is going to be, and if we can get them there safe. What else can we do? But I enjoy. I have several passengers that way too. I normally don't tell the organizations call me, but if I see them pop up, I'll take them. And Dominic would remember a little bit more. I always tell the organizations, I'll be your ace in the hole. I'll let somebody else take it, but if nobody picks it up, call me at the last minute and I'll take it. And
so, we will have to remember that.
You remember
that. Sometimes we need help.
And so it's been one of the highlights of my life to fly for these people, and they always have a place to go. They need to get there. Some maybe could get there without us, but be really hard. It's just a blessing to fly them. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, sometimes people come to us and they feel bad that they may be taking a flight away from somebody who may be more in need. But I always say we like to get the point across that we want to help people before they get to the point of emptying out all their bank accounts, because you may be able to get there once or twice. But if you have to travel every week or every month, those costs can definitely add up fairly quickly.
They do. And sometimes, I always, in my mind, I think, well, did they really need us? But I would say for a passenger, it's harder just to reach out for help. None of us like to ask for help. And so, it's all good. I love doing it. And I like talking to you guys. This is interesting.
What made you want to become a pilot?
I have no idea other than from the time I could walk, I looked up to the sky and loved airplanes. I always had a fascination with airplanes. And so I was fortunate. I had an uncle that was a flight instructor. So when I scraped up enough money when I was 16, I started taking lessons. I got my license when I was 18, and still today, they're very, other than spending time with my family, that's the thing I love to do is fly. And regrettably, my sweet wife doesn't like to fly too much. So
Oh,
she's real happy if I take all these passengers around the country, so I won't bug her to go with me, but she will once in a while. And my family, I have a son-in-law who's a pilot. That's great fun. But the rest of our kids, that we'd go somewhere, they'd be sleeping in 10 minutes. I'm thinking, man, if my dad had an airplane when I was your age, I'd be all over this thing. But
yeah.
I just love, have always been fascinated with it.
I love when you're talking to a pilot outside and a plane flies by and they completely end the conversation and look up, and then they totally don't even remember what you're talking about before that plane flew by.
That
But
is
I've
true.
even been in conversations where they look up and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I know that. That's John." And I'm like, "How? How do you know that?" Like, you can just tell by the way it sounds. And I'm like, "Oh my God." Like, I know this is your hobby, but we need to get you a hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now of
I
all
like
the
to go to the
places that you
airport. I like to go to the airport sometimes. I just tell my wife, I'm just going to talk to my plane a little bit, watch it down a little bit.
It's probably
Watch-
soothing.
Watch the windows, and then I'll go on about my day. I'm sorry, Maddie, I interrupted you.
No, you're good. I was gonna ask where your favorite place to fly to is.
Rochester, Minnesota I mean, I've been there so much. That's fun to go to. The airport personnel, they all know me well. So I always use the courtesy car to take the passengers into town, because the airport is quite a ways from the hospitals, probably 15 miles. And so Rochester, Cleveland, Burke Lakefront's always fun to go into. Other than that, just wherever, because I like to fly. So
Well, if you ever need extra passengers, we can clear our schedules for you.
okay.
Yeah, we are always available for a flight.
Well, we're quite a ways away. You're in Philadelphia, right?
Yeah. We're gonna have to
Yeah.
make a field trip out to Philadelphia.
I have been at your airport before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have, but can't remember why. But yeah, and I was too busy. Again, I was too busy, so I didn't go
Yeah.
see all you guys.
What is your real job when you're not flying once a week for public benefit flying?
My real job, yeah, you need something to fund this expensive hobby we have. I am a commercial real estate broker. I sell land and buildings in the northern Indiana area.
Oh, there you go. That's fun.
It is fun.
I feel like
This
that alone
is
is a good way to meet
this is my
people.
business attire. I'm known as the bow tie guy. So I wear a bow tie every day to work, and once in a while I wear it when I'm flying, if I just go jump in the airplane. So
Well, there you go. I
Wow.
feel like I need to get an attire like that. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
put it in my hair instead.
Yeah. Let's start wearing bows every day. It will be our calling.
there you go.
So what is something that you would say about being a volunteer pilot?
Oh, is there anything, what do you expand on that? What do you mean?
So if there's somebody listening right now who
Okay.
is thinking about becoming a volunteer pilot, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to do it in a heartbeat. It gives those of us wannabe airline pilots a reason to fly. I would not have the airplane I have today if it wasn't for flying Angel flights. I couldn't justify. I mean, it would, we don't, my wife and I don't do enough traveling to make it worthwhile. So I would not have that airplane. You get to fly, you get to keep your skills sharp, and you get to help people. It doesn't get any better than that. And so that's what I would say. I encourage any pilot to do it. A lot of them are afraid. I don't know why. Maybe I was just bullheaded and was going to go after it. I don't know. They don't think they're good enough or whatever. But yeah, I would encourage any pilot that likes to fly and likes to go places. Now, I like to go places. Okay. I'm long since graduated from boring holes in the sky around my hometown and looking down and thinking, oh yeah, there's whatever. That doesn't do a thing for me. Going 300 miles does something for me. But I would encourage anyone to do that. And you don't have to be super skilled. Well, you need to be skilled, but you don't have to have a fancy airplane. But you need to be sharp and know what you're doing. And we are hauling people. We're not, it's person, and I've had instances in the past where, you know, a lot of times if a mother and a child are going to be flying somewhere, the grandma comes along and she's all worried and scared. And many times I put my arm around her and said, "Sweetheart, I have a family to come home to also. So we're going to get her there safe." And that's her main job. I don't, a lot of pilots give the passengers the headset and they can start chatting. I don't do that. I give them a headset if they want to, for the noise. I feel like when the passengers are in my airplane, it's my job to get them there safe. I don't want them telling me about what cousin Buford did in his Piper Cub 20 years ago or whatever. You know, my job is I like to give my passengers the airline treatment, which is, if you fly an airliner, they take off, they got a couple of gentle turns, it's straight and level. And then when they get close to the destination, there's a couple of gentle turns and you land. I love giving them, I love it when the first time passenger jumps out and says, "That's a lot smoother than I thought it was going to be." You know, everyone has like I said, a cousin Buford who took them up and tried to scare the bejesus out of them, you know, and so real gentle turns and so on. So anyway, I hope that was a long-winded answer to a short question.
No, you're good. I think all of the pilots listening in will appreciate that answer. And then for the non-pilot listeners, what do you want to leave them with?
You know, I just hope that they understand that there's a lot of good people out there that like to help people. You know, this world is filled with a lot of bad news. Public benefit flying is a good news organization. You know, we help people, we give them more time. What your role is to marry up the pilot and the passenger, and it's not an easy role. And then our role is to get them there safely and bring them back. And it's just you know, when I'm sure when you guys go home at the end of the day, you feel great about what you did, you know, and I do too when I fly, no matter who it is. Somebody got a little more time with their family. Most of the time, the folks that we fly, they're not going to live forever. You know, they get more time with their family, and been told that countless times. You gave us, you know, 5 years, 3 years together. And so that's what I would leave. There's a lot of good people out there doing a lot of good things, and Maddie and Jess are two of them doing lots of good things.
And we couldn't do it without you.
I was going to say, you're doing more things than we are. You have to fly an airplane. We just have to hang out in our office all day.
I'd much rather fly my airplane than hang out in your office.
Yeah. We won't take that personally.
Yeah, because we'd rather be in an airplane too. But thank you so much for taking the time today to join us. We loved hearing your stories, and we are so excited to share this with all of our listeners.
Well, perfect. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, Brad.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow. What a great guy.
I know. His voice is so soothing. I would like to have him record like a bedtime story.
I'm not going to say anything about that. Oh, I had a great idea on the way home yesterday of what our new hobby should be for this specific podcast. We should start. Oh, no, I'm over the moon water thing, and I've decided we should be beatboxers, and I can beatbox and you can write the songs. No?
No.
Okay, if anybody out there listening would like to be my beatboxer, please call me ASAP. I already have a song in mind. I thought about it over our lunch.
Oh my God. I was really about to have like a super heartfelt comment when we first came into this, being like, wow, these pilots really like warm my soul, because they do. And then you come out from left field with flipping beatboxing.
I bet Brad would beatbox with us.
I would listen to anything he does.
Yeah. We do love Lifeline pilots, though. A lot of our pilots fly with them, too. I feel like we almost share a lot. They're probably the organization we share the most flights with.
Yeah, I think it also stems because Lifeline, although they're based in Illinois, they do also cover Ohio. Mm-hmm. So typically, at least how it was in the old days, was they would cover the western side of Ohio. We were only the eastern side. Whatever, hiccups of Ohio.
Olden days, as in the 1800s, or like 2005?
2018.
My one-liners have been great lately. Have so many zingers.
That wasn't a zinger. That zinged nobody. I can't wait for people to listen to this, and then all of a sudden we're just going to get emails and people being like, "Hi, Jess. A zinger is defined as blah, 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 blah." Not
know.
just making dumb comments.
I'm nervous about the trolls and the comments.
I'm excited. Somebody please troll us other than Andy.
Oh my God, Andy's totally going to troll us.
Which, speaking of trolling us, guys, for anybody who is out here listening on Apple Podcasts or Podchaser, please go ahead and give us a review. If you don't want to send us an email to let us know what you really think about us, please just do it right there so we can have the review. Give us a 5-star rating, give us a 2-star rating.
No, 5 stars only. I will not accept anything under perfection.
We accepted you.
I know, I'm perfection.
That's what I mean. I would not consider that.
Craigslist only hires perfect people.
And serial killers.
Yeah, I was going to say something else, but you got the point across.
Yeah. But as I was saying, listeners, please go ahead and give us a review. Subscribe to us. That way we can make sure that people are actually listening and we're not just talking into the internet. Although we will still keep going if we are.
Somebody will hear it one time and be like, wow, that was such a great podcast. I'm going to subscribe.
I'm going to listen to it like 6 times each episode and just like keep it on a loop. So that way it seems like we got a lot of views, but it's just me. Unless you people actually listen, then I don't have to.
Don't skew our results like that. We are honest Nellies.
But my personality needs help. So
your Thursday appointment says that too.
Yeah, actually. Sometimes it does. I need a little emotional support.
Don't we all? That's why nobody comes in our office, because they know.
I got so nervous today. The what's his title?
Who?
Joe. He's basically like the manager of the airport, but like more specifically client relations, showed up in our office today. And I
thought we were going to get kicked out.
I thought we were getting evicted.
Well, he just showed up and stared at us, and I'm like, what did we do wrong this time? But it was all good. We love Joe too.
Yeah. Hi Joe.
Don't evict us.
Yeah, please. But yeah, he came in and we thought we were gonna get kicked out. We have not yet been kicked out of Waynes Field. Plot twist. So if you're coming by, come visit. We are on the 2nd floor.
We have candy.
No, we don't. I think we ate it.
No, we have the candy that Sandy left us.
Oh yeah, it's from Sandy's mom's birthday party. Please help yourself. We don't know what it is.
Yeah, but we hope you listen next week and enjoy our rambling at the end of every episode, and be sure to share the podcast with your friends and family so more people will find out about Angel Flight East.
And the dumb stuff that goes through our head. All right, bye guys.
Thank you. Bye.
That's it for today's episode of Takeoff Talk with Angel Flight East. If you want to learn more about our services, please visit our website at www.angelflighteast.org or call our office at 215-358-1900. Join us in our mission. If you're a healthcare worker or a patient in need of air travel and flight services, AFE is here for you. Subscribe to the show so you can hear more stories. Join us again next week right here on Takeoff Talk.